Hi, I'm Mario DiPolo, and I thought I'd read some letters from the Teen Angel mailbag. Dear Teen Angel, are you related to Angel Ramirez? No, I'm not. But thanks for writing. Dear Teen Angel, how do I get out those watermarks left by soda cans on my coffee table? That's easy. Use your magic powers. Thanks for writing. Dear Teen Angel, do you ever do a show that's so short you have to pad it at the end? No. Never. Well, sometimes.
This program proudly brought to you by new Cadbury Breakaway. Make the most of this break.
The ultimate retreat to heal mind, body and soul.
Unwind and relax and stretch your imagination.
And the ski resort that's an absolute bargain.
$85 a day for skiing, all meals and accommodation.
The Great Outdoors, Tuesday. The 1999 AFL Coca-Cola Premiership season brought to you by WorkCover, Cadbury, Amy, Herald Sun, Bank of Melbourne, Mitre 10 and TAC.
Well, it's taken a long time, but this is the round we've been working towards. Round 22 in the home and away season. It starts tonight here at the MCG. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's a pretty cool but very wet MCG, but I'm sure those out in the bush are very happy because those dams are filling up and the crops are growing. The super sop has been going since midday. More than 50 millimetres of rain has fallen on the MCG today, so it is going to be a slog tonight. In fact, when they last met back in round 7, it wasn't quite the case. The Tigers got away to a 4-goal start, but then the Blues pegged them back. Lappin booted 5, Silvani 4. But the key man was a man by the name of Matthew Allen in the ruck for the Blues. He was absolutely sensational. Richmond, though, of course, have been one of the key newsmakers in the past 2 weeks. For more on that, let's welcome to our telecast Mark Dora.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, a very tumultuous week at Tigerland. There's been plenty of talk about coaches, none more so than at Richmond. Jeff Geeshan, of course, falling on his sword, or depending who you talk to, being pushed, and Richmond wasting no time in finding a replacement. Thereafter, Kevin Sheedy. To that extent, I'll talk to President Leon Daphne at half-time. But earlier on tonight, I spoke to Jeff Geeshan, and not surprisingly, he was a little bit flat.
I absolutely love the 3 years I've been at Tigerland, and you know, cherish the memories of being here, but obviously, you know, it's a little bit of a hollow feeling knowing that you won't be back here for next season.
Is it almost hard to front up tonight?
Oh, definitely not, no. You know, I feel that it's a great challenge tonight, and it gives us a chance to sort of be with the players and have the opportunity to say goodbye at the end of the game, and and to try and win a game of football for the Richmond Football Club. So I'm actually glad the way it's turned out, and you know, as much it was a little bit indifferent early in the week, tonight I feel really ready to go, and I hope the boys do as well.
You've been coaching or were coaching at different levels for about 18 years to try and get to this position. Is it all what it's cracked up to be?
Oh, certainly. It's a magnificent job. It certainly carries a lot of weight of expectation, certainly carries a lot of pressure at various times, but above all that, it is a fantastic environment to work in, and I really enjoy working with the youngsters and the young men that go out there and perform, and I just love being in the club environment where, you know, you go to war every week, so as to speak, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that. How hard is it being the general of that war, though? You win or lose, it's on your head. Well, it is difficult. It is on your head too, and you know, we've been pretty lucky that we've managed to win as many as we lose. So, you know, every second week, so as to speak, we've been pretty happy and pretty successful. But you know, when you lose, you do feel it very hard. I mean, there's an old saying that you know, for every lick of the ice cream, there's 10 kicks up the bum, and it's a little bit like that in coaching. All things being equal, it'd be hard for you to watch when the success comes from a spot in the grandstand. Oh, not really. I mean, you know, I'm really hoping that the Dragocevics and the Ottenses and some of these kids that we've blooded this year, Ray Hall's playing his first game tonight, I really hope those kids go on to bigger and better things. And look, I've got a bit of a passion for what the club have done for me and the opportunity they've given me, and I just can't help but wish them well into the future. It might be a bittersweet victory, but good luck tonight. Yeah, thanks very much, Mark.
Well, you're not going to believe this. The scoreboard here at the MCG is on fire. We started out by seeing a small flame just above the clock, and that has grown in the last 30 seconds. This scoreboard could blow up. Make no mistake about that. And isn't it ironic? The smoke-free sign could go as well. But we have potentially a very dangerous situation. There are sparks flying. Those flames are really blowing into the night now. This scoreboard could explode. They're going to have to move the crowd. As you can see, there are a crowd underneath. I think even they may be forced to evacuate. They have quickly evacuated the top level. But this is a very, very dangerous situation. There is also no way that firemen can get to that position quickly and efficiently to try and control it. Fans are cheering. There's black smoke peeling off everywhere. And believe it or not, the players are out on the ground going through their warm-up. We've seen some extraordinary things in football over the years, but some things never cease to amaze us. I don't know how that fire could have started. It was a little flick. I'm going to introduce Jason Dunstall, who's with me now, because, Jason, this is incredible.
I've seen a lot of things in my time, Sandy, but this is the most extraordinary thing. The whole scoreboard has gone up in flames. There are thick, black smoke clouds just engulfing the ground. I mean, it is, I don't know if it's playable now.
I think we better just keep an eye on this, because you can see a lot of it has fallen down into the seats. And one would also have to ask the question whether this game is going to be postponed, because it is getting worse. I'm just turning around and having a look at it now. It probably doesn't look quite as bad on your screen, but believe you me, we're talking about a huge piece of equipment in this scoreboard, and those flames are probably double the size of the scoreboard at the moment. And it is getting worse. This is incredible. I must admit, I didn't think I'd be too lost for words coming to Friday night footy, because we were pumped up for a big game. But this, I think, is certainly going to delay the start of this game. I don't think there's any way known this game can start while flames are burning out of control. In fact, if my eyes don't deceive me, Jason, it looks as though another stand behind has caught alight. Maybe Dipper, if I welcome you, you might be able to get a better vantage point on the ground. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sandy. I've just spoken to the umpires in the middle of the ground. The game has been delayed for 30 minutes. And if they can't start the game within 30 minutes, it'll be delayed for another 30 minutes, Sandy. And the police now are just trying to get the people from under the scoreboard away from their seats, because they're in danger at the moment. And there was a thick black cloud down here on the ground itself.
Dipper, has anyone got any idea as to how it may have started?
No, I don't think so at this stage, Sandy, but how's the boundary rider, mate? I'm going to find out right now.
Well, just be careful. I'm having a look at both the teams. The Richmond boys, Jason, have got together, and I just wonder if this delay continues, whether the players may say, well, no play tonight.
Well, the Carlton players have already left the field. We can see the Tigers now leaving the field, and it is a rather unhealthy situation. As we said, there are thick clouds just engulfing the ground, and that's certainly not a healthy situation at the moment. and whether this can be contained now is the big question. We can see the crowd spilling onto the ground.
I think also, Jason, see the sparks.
That's how it started.
But now those sparks and there's obviously bits of fragments of metal, fragments of wood that are coming off that and flying through the air onto the stand below. And I still see no evidence of any fire authority or fire brigade here. Whether they're out at the back, I don't know, but it's certainly... Well, that's sent Wayne Jackson flying, and that's quite understandable too. This is going to throw this game into absolute chaos, and I, for one, wouldn't be surprised if it could be cancelled.
No, well, that's the thing. I mean, they're evacuating the entire end of the ground underneath the scoreboard. They have all spilled out onto the ground. So we are going to see a very lengthy delay here, and that is, of course, we're presuming if they can get that fire under control at some stage.
Can you believe this sight? I mean, look at the fans. They've come here to see the start of round 22. It's ironical because it's happened on a day when we've had 50 millimetres of rain. The state's been crying out for rain. And now there's a public address system asking that stand be evacuated immediately. I mean, this is verging on a crisis situation here at the MCG. And now it looks as though fire patrol and emergency services people are in attendance, but it's not something, I don't think, Jason, I'm no fire expert, that they can bring under control in 10 or 15 minutes, is it?
Well, you wouldn't think so, and it's the after effects as well. I mean, we're 300 or 400 metres away from the particular incident, and we can smell the smoke up here in the commentary box. Now, obviously, it's going to be much worse down closer to that, and in fact, that end of the ground, it would be very difficult to get a breath of fresh air, I'm tipping, Sandy.
I don't know what that is actually made of. One can only assume that there is some sort of electrical fault within the scoreboard. Perhaps water may have leaked in. That could have had something to do with it. But just let's hope that it can be controlled and there's nothing that is explosive inside there. Now the fire brigade are getting things under control. Well, they've even got a problem with the pressure hose. That's leaking as well. However, it looks as though it is under control from the outside. I mean, it's all very well to say the flames have gone, but I would imagine it would have warmed up very considerably on the inside.
I must say, Sandy, just looking at where they've got that hose, where they've made access there, they've done an extraordinary job to get up there and actually be able to put the fire out, because that is the top left-hand corner of that stand, and you wouldn't have thought they would be able to run a hose up there.
It's extraordinary. We've got people from centre wing into the pocket, and also down there Wayne Jackson. Now, Dipper, I believe Wayne is with you at the moment. What can he tell us?
Yes, Sandy, I'm with Wayne Jackson now. He's just come out of the Richmond rooms himself, and Wayne, do you know exactly what has happened here at all?
No, I don't, Dipper. I was in the Richmond Football Club rooms farewelling, was wishing Jeff Geesham good luck, and when I came out, somebody drew my attention to this. I've just run across, but it looks like the fellas have got under control, and pleasingly the fans here tonight, both Richmond and Carlton guys, are clearing out pretty quietly and seem to be under control. So I guess that's what.
What's the rule in here? Is it like the umpires have told us that the game won't start for 30 minutes? If they can't start the game after 30 minutes, it's prolonged for another 30 minutes.
Oh yes, well we'll go obviously and check the rules now, but with a little bit of luck, we've got one scoreboard or one video board out of action for the night. We've still got others in place, and hopefully within 10 minutes or so we'll be able to start the game.
And just quickly, how long can a game be delayed for?
Look, I really don't know, because this is a new experience for all of us. I'll certainly find out, but I mean, what's pleasing is that the crowd are just getting out in
and they're well behaved too. I mean,
oh, well, they're a terrific crowd, and no one knows what's happened at this point of time, but it looks to me as if the staff here and the fire brigade have got it under control, so hopefully it won't be that long before on the track again. So if I can excuse myself, Deborah, I'd like to go and be a bit helpful.
No worries at all, Wayne. Okay, Sandy, back to you, mate.
Yes, thank you. In fact, I would suggest that we could hear a PA announcement, Jason, during that the Ponsford stand be totally evacuated. I would imagine for the safety of the people that should remain the case throughout the night, because that's going to take some control to cool down that fire inside the scoreboard.
Without a doubt, you would expect so. I think we're probably going to see a match here tonight with one end of the ground quite bare, which is going to be, well, not great aesthetically, but surely that's the safest option, and they'll find comfort in some of the other areas around the ground here. Dipper asked a very interesting question: how long can a game be delayed? And Wayne said, well, I better go check the rules. I think it sent everyone scurrying because no one knows what happens in a situation like this.
I'm just trying to think. We did have the sprinklers came on, but that was nothing at Waverley. The lights went out. But, I mean, from a player's point of view, I mean, you've come out now, you've built yourself up for the last 40 minutes or so. You've come out, you've warmed up, you're ready to go. Now you're back inside, and no one can tell you when you're going to be out on the ground. From a player's point of view, what's it feel like?
Well, I don't think the players would ever have found themselves in this situation before. I mean, it's a little bit different. We see it happen a lot in tennis when you're waiting for a match in front of you to finish. But this is totally different. We normally know how much time we have, when we have to go out, when to start warming up, when to get changed, when to get stripped, when to have your meetings, your coach's address before the final siren, before you go out there. But, you know, everything's been thrown into cast. We'll just have to wait and see what happens here tonight.
I hope that fireman can get that hose fixed. But anyway, a large percentage of the water is going to the fire. An amazing start to this game, an extraordinary start to round 22. We'll take a break and hopefully we'll be back.
Victoria turns to every day. Your paper, the Herald Sun.
The Paris-Dakar Rally, 7,000 kilometres across the scorching deserts of North Africa. In a race that most don't even finish, the mighty Pajero has dominated. Its nearest rival, the mid-sized Mitsubishi Challenger. Now Mitsubishi has developed the Pajero EO, all the toughness and durability you'd expect, but in a more compact form. Mitsubishi, the toughest four-wheel drives from here to Timbuktu.
It is Mitsubishi. MobileNet is revolutionising mobile phone usage for business with unprecedented value on all mobile calls. So now you can enjoy the benefits of some free calls on all new mobile plans. 25% off MobileNet to MobileNet per minute call rates on all business plans. Flat rates across Australia, regardless of distance. And easy talk, pay by the second billing. Together they represent significant savings and newfound freedom for your business. That's MobileNet.
All she wanted was to be a star.
You're not anybody in America unless you're on TV.
It was an opportunity she'd kill for.
I will do anything to get this job, anything.
And that's exactly what she did.
So when will it happen? As you probably noticed, it's been another beautiful evening. Good evening. With just a slight chill in the air.
Did you get those kids to kill your husband?
Who do you think is ready to believe?
Matt Dillon and Nicole Kidman will have your eyes wide open.
Today was a hot one.
To Die For. Premieres Sunday.
For those of you who may have just joined us, this is the MCG and Friday Night Football. The scoreboard in the top right-hand area of your screen has been on fire. The Ponsford stand has been evacuated. Were you looking forward to Friday night, Jason?
I was, but look, this is how it started. We were alerted to a small flame in the bottom left-hand corner, and all of a sudden it spread straight up and it engulfed, well, basically the entire length of the scoreboard, or the height of the scoreboard. It went right to the top. It started giving off flames, and bits of debris started dropping down. Unfortunately, when a hose was introduced, it did well douse the flame pretty quickly, but obviously a lot of damage has been done.
It's also interesting too that that flame did not spread. It would suggest that the scoreboard is made of something that probably the bulk of that scoreboard is fairly well fireproof, but maybe on the sides it could be a different story. Dipper's been down there keeping us up to date. Any further news, Dipper?
Well, I've just been asking some of the people who are up there at the moment, some of the MCG staff here, how the fire did start, and they're saying that it's electrical fault. Obviously all the rain what we've had, maybe a lot of the water has gone into the scoreboard and started the small fire, which as Jason mentioned before, has just erupted very quickly. And I've got Wayne Jackson just joining me now. Wayne?
Well, provided everybody's off the ground, Dipper, we'll start the game at 8:05. The rules provide that if the game is delayed less than half an hour, we can
Start the game?
Start the game. The umpires have now gone across to Richmond, and they are to Carlton, to say, subject to everybody being off the ground, the ball will bounce at 8:05.
Anything after 8:05, what happens there?
Well, we've got a couple of minutes up our sleeve, but 8:05's the time.
I only say that because of the crowds on the ground.
Well, we'd like to get they're on the screens now saying we'd like to get them off, but provided they're off the ground at 8:05, we'll start the game.
Well, thanks for that news. Sandy, back to you, buddy.
Perhaps they could help us let the people know that.
Okay, no worries at all. Sandy, back to you, mate.
Thank you, Dipper. I mean, the other point to come out of this, Jason, is that I think there are regulations controlling how long these lights at the ground can stay on, so that they're obviously they've got to work within a certain time frame, and those lights have to go off.
They do. There's a lot of different factors coming into the equation now, and there was trouble with one of the light towers earlier today. Water actually did get into the tower, but apparently that is okay.
I think Mark Doran's got a fireman with him at the moment. He might be able to shed more news on perhaps how it all started. Mark?
Well, Sandy, I can tell you that the water's very wet because I'm right up here next to the scoreboard now, and the firemen are doing a wonderful job. Like, it was up here actually about 15 minutes ago when the flames were at their worst, and it was not so much the flames you could see, but the debris coming off that screen was blowing towards the big grandstand, the Great Southern Stand. And although everyone was in total control here, there were genuine fears for people's safety, because it wasn't the fact that they had to put this fire out, but we could have had another one start nearby. The firemen assure me that everything is under control now. It was an electrical fault. I think it's called a tray mix screen. I think I got that right. It started, and it has nothing to do with any other the electrical gear in this at the MCG. So the lights won't go out, but we can tell you that the fire is out. I think the water, they're just about to start mopping it up now. Obviously, we won't be seeing this screen used for a while, but for the moment up here, at least everything is under control.
Righto, thank you, Mark. So on that, the game is scheduled to start in some 15 minutes' time. That could be optimistic because there's still thousands of fans out on the ground, Jason. The PAs are now asking them to vacate the ground, and then hopefully we'll be able to get the game underway. But we were going to come here tonight and we're going to talk about coaches and Geishan and the latest Ian Robertson joke, and it's all been thrown into total confusion with a fire in the scoreboard. Let's get back into footy terminology now and look at one of the playmakers, Jason, in this game tonight. He has been in sensational form and must poll very, very well come Brownlow medal night. I'm speaking of Matty Allen.
Yeah, Carlton ruckman Matthew Allen has had a tremendous season. He's been one of their most consistent performers all year. He's really one of the key reasons that they've actually made it into the September action. Expected to poll well in the Brownlow, and also expected to be named as the All-Australian ruckman come Monday night. And if he dominates the way that he has been this year, the Tigers could be in trouble tonight.
Yes, he was the player in round 7 who really turned it around for the Blues against the Tigers after they flew out of the blocks in their opening round. In just a moment, speaking of Robbo, well, he's going to be joining Jason.
The 1999 AFL Coca-Cola Premiership season proudly brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. The McDonald's Footy Burger, the double quarter pounder with cheese. Foster's Light Ice for extreme refreshment. And the new Mitsubishi Magna 3.5, the next generation.
A delayed start to the Tigers and the Blues. Another man that has never seen anything like it joins us as always, Robbo.
Good on you,
what
Jake.
a start.
I tell you, this has been absolutely amazing, hasn't it? But, well, we're here for a game of football, and we're going to watch two traditional rivals. I mean, Richmond, a couple of years ago, they enjoyed putting the Blues out of the finals race in the last game up at Optus Oval, and the Blues, I'm sure, will need, for confidence sake, to go into the finals winning this last game.
Yeah, some key players to take a look at as we check out who's hot. The players that have been making their presence felt over the last few weeks and expected to have a similar influence tonight. Well, when you talk about the Tigers, their skipper Matthew Knights, he's one of the most damaging players in the competition. He has a deadly left foot. If he gets enough of the ball to distribute to his forwards, that could be one of the telling factors tonight.
Yes, well, he's such a key player because he does deliver the ball well. And this young fellow here, I think we saw him kick 5 goals against the West Coast in a night match here. But he looks as though he's going to be used in the defensive half. And it's going to be important that those two fellows in particular deliver the ball to young Ottens and Holland with some sort of precision and get it down there quickly.
And when you talk about Carlton, well, what about their evergreen skipper Craig Bradley? Rising, a 36-year-old, still running just as hard and playing the match out as he did when he started 14 or 15 years ago, and he's just an idol, an icon
Sandy,
of the game.
Just 1 second. One of the most absolute professionals that I think we've seen in the whole 100 years of football, of AFL, VFL, Craig Bradley. and he's to be congratulated for his career.
Sensational, yes. And also another one who's got a milestone tonight, Andrew McKay. His 150th game, the vet from Lucendale. Hardly missed a game. He's been quite fantastic. Mark Doran, I believe, at the moment, gentlemen, has the fireman who is in charge of proceedings here at the scoreboard. Mark, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. I'm with Station Officer Steve Moore. Steve, we're under the scoreboard now, so it's obviously safe, but it was a bit hairy for a while.
It was, yeah. As soon as we turned out of Eastern Hill, we saw the smoke, and then a bit closer, we could see the flames happening. So it was one out of the box. Yeah.
You'd be wondering what on earth could burn down at the MCG.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of it's stands and that concrete. So, but yeah, there's a lot of electrics up there, so there could be an electrical fault. We don't know it yet. We'll get fire investigation, have a look at it.
As I look above your head, it's only probably an eighth of the screen that's actually caught fire, but it was starting to move across very quickly. You had to work, obviously, super quick.
Right, yeah. Luckily, we had a few of the guys ran out of hose from behind us. One of the fixed installations in the stand, so that was our first attack, and then we sent guys up inside, and they got under control from there.
So everything is all right now. You've got firemen just mopping themselves down. They're wet. They've been one of the guys actually got a bit injured there, or a bit of smoke inhalation.
Yeah, one of the scoreboard attendants copped a bit of smoke, so we've put him on oxygen, and the ambos have followed up, and they're just treating him now.
How about that? Scoreboard attendance on danger money?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So the main thing, everything's under control now, and we can get on with the game. What about the other scoreboard? Is there any chance that it'll have an effect?
Well, we hope not. We'll be watching. So
you better be on standby. Steve, thanks for your time.
No worries, thanks.
Right, thank you, Mark, for that. It's interesting, the Ponsford stand has been evacuated. I think there must be some cynics in television because we've just come out of that Who's Hot segment. The scoreboard's the hottest thing in town at the moment, isn't it? And Dipper also, too, has a report on the seating arrangements. What can you tell us, Dipper? Because the Ponsford stand is going to be empty.
Absolutely empty at the moment, Sam, but the good news, no one's been hurt. And so anyone at home who've got kids here and or family here, I can tell you now that no one's been hurt, which is terrific work by the staff here. Now, they've allowed them in the MCC member area. Imagine some of this crowd in there, and in the AFL membership area itself. So the Ponsford stand is empty. MCC membership or the AFL. So they're trying to get them off the ground before 8:05.
Yeah, okay, Dipper. Well, probably well before that too, because they want to actually start, I believe, don't they, at 8:05. That's going to give them some 10 minutes to get those fans off the ground, to get them relocated, and then to get the teams out. This has been an extraordinary start to round 22. I can hear some applause in the background, and Matty Knights as Darren Gasper and co are leading the Tigers out. In television terms, ladies and gentlemen, this is take 2. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be back with this game.
People want to look beautiful. Mike Jackson, Pamela look like, any operation I do. But this special request, he loves Finn's chips so much. I help. Okay, time take look. Nurse, unwrap, please. Now, we check Finn's. Operation, big success. Happy ending!
Thins. Cut thin to fit more in.
Announcing, exclusive to 40 Winks, world-famous Chatham & Wells handcrafted beds. Chatham & Wells beds combine the craftsmanship of yesteryear with today's latest technology, and all with a 10-year guarantee. Exclusive to 40 Winks, plus 40 Winks bonus, free satin sheet set with every Chatham & Wells luxury bed. See the 40 Winks catalogue out now. The ultimate in bedding luxury.
Wink, wink, 40 Winks!
Clinical tests prove new Clomizole's advanced anti-dandruff formula can relieve and control dandruff. New Climasol Advanced Anti-Dandruff Shampoo.
Now I can wear black again.
Welcome back to the MCG and Friday Night Football. We are getting things together here, ladies and gentlemen. The Ponsford stand is now empty. The fire is out. And we're going to be set to go in just a few minutes' time. The Richmond boys are already out on the ground. There are some fans still relocating on the other side of the ground. But I'm happy to say that a man who's been staying out of the fire for the past week is Johnny Russo, our fourth umpire. Good evening, John.
G'day, Sandy. And I've heard of them burning down the grandstand when the umpires make a blue, but the first time I've heard of them burning down the scoreboard.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? But we believe it was an electrical fault. It is under control. And we are just about set to go. In fact, Jason, yeah, I can read, Jason. That, I've got to say, ladies and gentlemen, that Robbo came in tonight. I think it's time like these, you need something perhaps a little lighter. And Robbo can provide it in the form of an extraordinary joke that really hasn't taken long to come to fruition. Robbo?
No, well, Jason's probably going to hit me off my chair when I tell this, but they reckon they're all gone grey down at Tigerland, Sandy.
I'm sorry?
They're all gone grey down at Tigerland.
They've all gone grey?
We're supposed to say why.
Why?
There's no Geishan 2000.
Oh.
No?
That's just woeful.
Has the balloon just all of a sudden become leaden?
Those boys could hear it. That's what they thought of it. Well, let's reflect for a moment. It's got to be an emotional moment for Jeff Geishan. He came here, in 77. He won 4 out of the last 5 as Craig Bradley. And Andy McKay leads the team out, his 150th game. Fantastic achievement. Hasn't missed a game this year. The boy from Glenelg. No. But just going back to Geishan, came here in 97 to Punt Road, won 4 of the last 5, and one of them was Carlton. And since then has won, well, he's got a 50% strike rate. It's not too bad, is it?
No, it isn't. You'd be very surprised if the Tigers didn't fire up tonight. We heard him talk earlier about the delight that he takes with the development of the younger players. It'd be great to see them step up and join the experienced players and giving him a fitting send-off.
Let's go down to the boundary line. There has been one change. We'll see David Parker in picture here. One change made by Carlton. Now he's got his proper boundary rider's hat on. Dipper.
Thanks very much, Andy. Nice to be with you. And just some more news. The gates here at the MCG have been locked. There was a big crowd trying to get in, but they're not allowing anybody to get in at this stage, Sandy. So, but for Carlton, the news is that Fraser Brown is out of the side with a cork thigh. If it was a Sunday, he would have played. They've taken no risk with him. And Brett Backwell is taking his spot. So the Carlton bench will start off with Backwell, Matthew Lappin, Matty Hogg and Ange Christou. Nice to see him back. And for Richmond, my mate Mark Dragozevic is on the bench. Justin Platt, Benny Moore, and a young boy playing his first game, Ray Hall. He comes from Woy Woy. Now, where's Woy Woy?
Yeah, he played with New South Wales ACT under 18s. Thanks, Dipper, making his debut, the 18-year-old. He's a big youngster, but also, as you mentioned, Dipper, good to see Ange Christou getting another crack. His 13th game of the season. The past couple of years he's been troubled severely by foot and back injuries, and let's hope he can finish on a high. Plenty of news happening in the world of footy, especially as far as coaches are concerned. For more on the coaching merry-go-round, here's Craig Hutchison. Hutchie.
Thanks, Sandy. Remarkable night here at the MCG, but still plenty happening away from here tonight. We can tell you that Gary Ayres was today offered the Adelaide coaching job, and he is expected to accept that job. He was offered that this morning, and at this stage, he has told the Adelaide Crows in principle that he will accept, and Geelong will notify late today that subject to arrangements being able to be made contractually. So Geelong is expected to call an emergency board meeting, perhaps Sunday night, perhaps Monday night, to try and rediscuss their position after refusing to offer him an extension of 1 year to go. So Gary Ayres' tenure at Kennedy Park or Shell Stadium very much hanging by a thread tonight.
Jeff Geishan perhaps back to Geelong, gentlemen. I mean, football is a funny old merry-go-round, isn't it?
It certainly is. One of the interesting things at the moment is some of the coaches that are in demand aren't actually in the finals. I mean, you would normally think that if you're chasing coaches, you would poach the best. But you look at apparently Ken Judge getting a lot of interest from West Coast, and Gary Ayres obviously attracted by both Hawthorn and the Adelaide Crows. Just interesting that you can miss out on the finals but still be in great demand.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Obviously no reflection on their coaching ability.
No. But we haven't seen a season like this for a long time. Here's Ange getting ready for his comeback game. Good luck, Ange. Don't tell me they've been fosking up there in that scoreboard already, those two scavengers down there on the boundary line. Mark and Dipper, what have you got?
Well, Sandals, between us, we've managed to get bring you back some of the scoreboard. I don't know whether you can zoom in on this, but this is the AFL scoreboard. Have a look at that. There's not much of it.
Could you take that to the lab and have it analysed for me?
I'll do that, and by the end of the game, Sandy, I'll have something back for you. I'll tell you what, though, this is a super trivia question. What night did the MCG scoreboard catch the light? Dipper.
And you'll be able to find that in my new game. I've been wanting to know when can I put this on camera. And this is a Dippers footy challenge, so kids out there, and the only way you can get it is by ringing Channel 7 and I'll let you know. What a great night. Well done, Mark.
You're unbelievable. There's Adrian Gallagher behind David Parkin. An amazing time for David Parkin too, because he's coached now 489 games. He played 211, so this is game number 700 as his involvement with the game of football as a coach and a player.
And a terrific record to David Parkin, but on screen also, Sandy was one of the people that, as we watched the boys toss the coin, I think Craig Bradley might have been successful there, and he's decided to go to the away from the fire.
Has the scoreboard working, right?
Away from the fire. But I was going to say, on screen with David Parkin was Wayne Britton, who is an able assistant, and there he is there just sipping away at the Coke. And he has been mentioned, I think last year, he got quite a few mentions as a prospective senior coach.
He's escaped a lot of attention this year, hasn't
yes,
he? Which is surprising.
Yep.
I mean, there are so many players' names that come to the fore. Brian Royal has been waiting in the wings, to name another one. It will be interesting to see what unfolds. However, there's Matty Hogg going down and starting on the bench. Matty Allen and co. Simon Beaumont there. Ange Christou also starting on the bench for Carlton. Very important game for Carlton because they can finish the home and away as high as 5th spot on the ladder. I guess as far as Richmond is concerned, let's just do it for Geesh.
Well, I think Carlton, I mean, Jason, surely you'd agree with this. Winning form is good form, and they don't need to drop a game in round 22. Carlton.
Oh, look, they won't be taking it easy. There's no way knowing they'll be saving themselves for the finals. I mean, we know that they can still grab 5th spot, and you'd certainly take that rather than finishing 6th or 7th. And we know what sort of influence it has on a team when their coach his tenure is coming to an end, and we expect Richmond to fire up as well.
It's going to be slippery, Robbo, and we may have more rain during the night. Who would that favour?
Well, I thought if we had a beautiful evening, I thought that it would have been a very interesting game. I mean, I never discount Richmond when they come up against the Blues, but I just feel that this unit, the Carlton side, have got so much to play for. I mean, they must go into the finals winning matches, and I think that they'll probably come out on top. Maybe it might disadvantage a couple of the younger Richmond boys up on that forward line that I mentioned in the preview, young Holland and Ottens.
Now, I don't know what's happened, but they've obviously let people back into the Ponsford stand, so they're obviously convinced that the fire is totally under control. In fact, there are people underneath the scoreboard as we speak. We'll keep an eye on that, though. In the meantime, the game is finally underway as John Harvey will have the opening bounce. And the time is 5 minutes after 8. This is the first quarter. Goes through the legs of Chaffee. Knight's got one high. He'll take the free kick. Matty Knight's going to the burnt scoreboard end of the ground. Looking to finish on a high. Comes wide. Finds his man in Duncan Kellaway. Hasn't missed a game this year. Duncan Kellaway wide to Campbell. Campbell from 55 metres. High punt kick in towards full forward. Big pack of players. Rogers was waiting there. Unable to take it cleanly. Couple taken to the ground heavily. Ottens tried to get through. McKay comes away.